Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I'm on the Celebrity Edge. I'm having a really good time. It's my first full day. About to go have breakfast shortly, but I just had to cover this news story because if you thought the CDC was out of the picture for cruising with the legal ramifications going on right now, the CDC said, guess again. So I got two quick stories to talk to you today about, well, the CDC, despite the ruling by the federal court in the state saying that they are going to uphold now the injunction on the CDC's control over the framework for sailing in the state of Florida. Now that's a very big distinction. It's only for the state of Florida. It doesn't count for Texas, it doesn't count for Alaska, it doesn't count for New York or anybody place else. Only for the state of Florida. But the CDC has come out now and said, yeah, okay, that stuff might be gone. They might not have to do those test sailings and follow those regulations that we have in place, but guess what? Our mask mandate still upholds because that's a federal jurisdiction and a federal law. And so any cruise line that decides not to follow the framework for sailing and the conditional sail order, they can be told that they have to wear masks on board if they fail to follow those 95% guidelines. So even though there's an injunction, the CDC, like I said before, still has control over the cruise ship industry because that's kind of their job, and they can still make things very, very miserable for the cruise lines. And so no cruise lines wants to mandate mask wearing policies. There's a lot of cruise lines getting pushed back right now. I'm on this ship. Most people are not wearing a mask, but there are people walking around with a mask because they're unvaccinated. They have to follow those procedures in the protocol. Crew on some ships all have to wear masks. Other ships, you don't have to. So it's if we thought that the CDC was going away right now, they don't seem to be going away anytime soon. We'll see what happens with the cruise lines because as we know, Norwegian Cruise Line is suing the state of Florida because they want to ask for fully vaccinated passengers. And we have the ships starting to set sail now in Alaska. We have Princess starting up this week. We had Royal Caribbean starting up. We have Holland America starting up this week. So it's getting a lot of places going. I don't think you're going to see too many changes in the framework for sailing or anything. The lawsuit seems to have been doing nothing, absolutely nothing, but causing more lawsuits, more confusion, and more taxpayers' dollars basically just being spent, and more money the cruise lines have to spend to get going. It's it's not turning out to be a quick solve. Let's just put it that way. And now we also have Royal Caribbean's come out with their new vaccine protocols for mixing and matching. Even though they put one out last week, well, they put a new one out and changed it again. But before I quickly tell you that, let me just invite you to subscribe to the channel. I haven't done it in a while because the stories have been going crazy. I just wanted to say, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, notification button. Doesn't cost anything, really does help the channel, and I would be most appreciative. Now, Royal Caribbean, they were pretty firm in some of their stances last time, but their new stance that they've come out now depends on, well, not only what vaccine you had, but also where you're sailing from now. Because they're starting in Europe and they're starting up in North America, they now have two sets of protocols that they're going, because don't forget, in Europe, for instance, they used a lot of AstraZeneca. Over 50% of the population in some countries have used AstraZeneca, which is the one they say you can't mix and match. But European countries and Canadian countries have been mixing and matching at the bequest of the government. saying that this is the best solution and this is the best way to do it, is to mix and match these vaccines. So the government has kind of led the population down that way, and now a lot of people are going, hey, what do you mean does this mean I can't cross the US border? Does this mean I can't fly? Does this mean I can't go on a cruise? What does it mean? Well, Royal Caribbean now, let's just for now talk about the United States. They will again accept the same type of vaccine of if you have both Pfizer, you're great. If you have both Moderna, you're great. If you have both of AstraZeneca, they're going to accept that as well. That's good news for a lot of people, because a lot of people were wondering, because that one hasn't been approved in the United States yet. So that question has been answered. However, there is a catch. Now, they say you can do the mixing and matching, so you can have Moderna and you can have Pfizer, one dose of each, that's fine. You can have AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson. That's fine, because those are both the same types of vaccine, although Johnson & Johnson's a one-shot, so I don't see how that will ever happen, but it's in there if you need to have it. But mixing AstraZeneca and Pfizer, AstraZeneca and Moderna is still a no-no right now. As far as the mixing of the same type of vaccine, so you have a Pfizer for one shot, you have a Moderna for a second shot. As long as you have had 28 days between the shots, but not longer than 42 days, which is a problem again. Because in the United States, in Canada, for instance, many people have gone 3 months between getting shots. At one point, we were scheduled to go 4 months between shots. So, yeah, that 42-day window could be a big problem for a lot of people again. So I know anyone who's planning on traveling from Canada on a cruise, for instance, right now with Royal Caribbean, is checking those dose states right now and counting the days between to see if they make it to 42 or not. Because a lot of us did not. A lot of people did not. I know people who are still day 60 and are still waiting for their second shot. Now they're waiting for the same shot, which is slowing down the vaccine rollout in Canada, because they're hearing that other countries, mostly the United States, is saying, yeah, we're not going to recognize mixed vaccines. So they're saying, well, if I can't cross the border anymore and all this, well, I have to wait for my second shot, right, of the same type. It's come up to a bad PR all around, but it's a real mess if you have mixed vaccines. So my suggestion to you, if you have any type of mixed vaccine, is to call the cruise lines themselves or your travel agent, find out exactly what the details are for yours, and if your vaccines don't match up with their protocols, tell them you need a refund, because they changed the health protocols recently. So they can say, well, we'll give you a future cruise credit because that's what's in our bylaw. But you can force the issue and say, sorry, you changed your protocols. I didn't change mine, you changed yours. I can no longer take your cruise. You have to give me my money back. Because I can't schedule a new cruise because I still don't meet your safety protocols. So give me back my money. And they're pretty much going to give you back your money from what I've seen so far. So yeah, lots of things happening again. CDC still involved, still has their claws into the cruise line industry. That's how it's going to be interpreted by a lot of people. And basically the lawsuits is just, hey, let's throw some lawsuits out there and let's spend some money in court. Because it's changed absolutely zero for the cruising industry. Absolutely zero. We've been to 3 courts now, and it's changed nothing. Well, but isn't that the court system anyway? Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.